A lot of JAMB candidates will complicate their admission process right from the registration period. And in fact, some people even before the registration. Unfortunately, every year we get to see candidates that made mistakes that will cause them to stay another year at home, or mistakes that will make them to experience a very frustrating admission process. So if you are watching this video now, I'm sure you'll be able to avoid such mistakes because I'll be discussing these mistakes with you and how to avoid them. So stay with me. You might be able to rectify the first and the second mistake I'll be discussing in this video, but you see the third mistake I'll be discussing with you, you may not be able to rectify it, and that can cause you to stay another year at home if you made such a mistake. So make sure you watch all through this video so that you won't miss anything out. I actually have stories of two candidates to tell in this video so that you can understand the gravity and the potential consequence of you making such a mistake, so that you will understand the reasons for you to avoid those mistakes. In the previous year, I processed admission for my sister. When the time of the post-UTME registration came, I wanted to do the post-UTME registration for her. We have to log in with our surname and JAMB registration number. There was a complaint that I was logging in with incorrect credentials, that is incorrect details. I was like, what happened? I know her surname and I'm very sure this is her JAMB registration number. We were not together, so I have to call her and ask her to check our JAMB slip if everything on it is correct. Unfortunately, when she checked the JAMB slip, we realized that there was a mistake in our surname. What she told me immediately that time was that it was that woman that did the JAMB registration for me that made a mistake. In fact, the woman doesn't even like me concept. I was like, calm down. This mistake was not made by the person that did your JAMB registration for you. It was made during your NIN registration. Because the problem is, whatever it is you have in your NIN will be replicated for your JAMB registration, especially your biodata, like your names, your date of birth, your local government of origin, your state of origin. All will be replicated for your JAMB registration. So that would take me to the very first mistake you have to make sure you avoid doing. If you have not registered for NIN when watching this video, when you want to register for it, you have to be very careful that they do not make any mistake while entering any of your details. That is your names, your date of birth, or any of your details at all during the NIN registration. If you have already have your NIN while watching this video, all I will advise you to do is to go and take your NIN slip and check if all details on it is correct. If it is not correct, maybe you can try to make the correction even before the registration will start, or even after you have done the registrations. Because if you get to identify the problem early, you can start the process of how you are going to resolve it. Before I proceed to the next story and mistake, don't forget to like this video, because your like for this video will go a long way to help this video to reach a large number of people so that it can benefit them too. Also, I have created a group where I guide candidates on JAMB and admission process. You can find the link to the group in the description box below to join us. And the second story was a story of a candidate. This candidate, when she wanted to register for a JAMB, she used her brother's phone number, and a couple of months after that, the brother traveled to the UK. And unfortunately for the girl, she was not able to gain admission with that JAMB that year. She has to write another JAMB in the following year. And the brother already traveled to the UK. She didn't know her profile code again, and she can't log into her profile. The only way she can retrieve her profile code is through her phone number. And we asked his brother to try it in the UK. Oh, there is no network, Glow network or whatever in the UK, so it wasn't going through. What eventually happened was that the brother have to send the SIM card all the way from the United Kingdom with huge amount of money to Nigeria. And after we are done using it, it has to be sent back to the UK for the person. That will take me to the second mistake that you should make sure you avoid. And the mistake is avoid using someone else's phone number and email address. So I'm sure if you are old enough to register for JAMB, you are old enough to have a SIM card. Make sure you don't do a registration with even your parents' phone number. Make sure you try and register for your own personal phone number and use it for the registration. And also for your email address, make sure you create a working email address of your own. Don't use anybody's email address. Use the proper recovery details for the email so that you won't get to lose it anytime. Make sure you use your personal phone number and email address for your registration. It is very important. The mistake number 3, which is the most important one, and the reason why I call this mistake the most important one, is that if you made this mistake, you might not be able to rectify it. Unlike some of those ones that I've mentioned that you can rectify, you may not be able to amend this. This might not have any solution. And this mistake is JAMB subject combination. A lot of people make mistakes in their JAMB subject combination. There are some subject combination of some courses that are general and obvious and well known by everybody. Something like medical as JAMB subject combination, that is courses like nursing, medicine, and all of that are just English, chemistry, physics, biology. But there are some subject combination of some courses that are somehow not known by everybody. You have to do yourself a good thing by knowing your subject combination before you go to the registration center. If at all, if the person wants to make a mistake while entering your JAMB subject combination, you will be able to correct the person that this subject combination you have chosen for me is not correct, or you wanted to choose for me is not correct. Because this subject combination, if you made a mistake in your subject combination and eventually the registration closed, after you have done the examination, you cannot rectify the mistake. It is not possible. So if you will not change your course, then it means you have to stay at home for another year. All the mistakes that I've mentioned in this video are very, very important for you to take note of. And generally, if you want to avoid these mistakes, you have to make sure you pay a very good attention while they are doing the registration, and keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your eyes on the screen so that you can be able to correct the person when the person made a mistake while doing the registration or while entering your details on the computer. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not. Also, don't forget to share this video to other candidates and other people so that it can benefit them as well. See you in another interesting one. Bye for now.